A panel discussion was held this morning about what role SMSFs should play in the superannuation system. Coredata's Andrew Inwood was one of the panellists, and he joins me now. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Darren.
So what role should SMSFs play in the superannuation system right now?
For anyone who's interested in taking real control over their assets, self-managed super funds provide a great vehicle for doing what you want to do, doing things that you enjoy doing, and building yourself a structure which you can completely control outside the purview of the main superannuation funds. Its entire role is to provide you with economic freedom and to provide you with control over your assets and the way in which you invest your money. That's the entire job it does.
But there's been a little bit of a trend that has changed the way we're used to seeing growth in the industry, isn't there?
So there's a couple of things which are really happening in that space. One is that the net number of new people joining self-managed super funds is starting to trend down. That's really to do with the population curve and the way in which older people are moving through the cycle. The second thing is that some of the reasons that you might have wanted to start a self-managed superannuation fund are starting to evaporate. And there's some real fears inside the people that we're surveying that perhaps the next political cycle locally and probably internationally won't advantage people who are seeking to work inside self-managed funds.
So in that context, what should advisors be looking for to change their business proposition as to the way they service SMSF clients?
So they're going to face three kind of critical issues. First of all, they're going to have to start to break them up into groups. They're going to have to break them up into people who are effectively in runoff, who've reached the input cycle of self-managed super fund and now in drawdown and actually managing their assets. They're going to have to look at people who are in the kind of later phase of their asset accumulation part of their life, and people who are just starting off. And in fact, build three propositions. The biggest proposition is really going to be about drawdown, because people in that cycle, they've had their funds for longer than 10 years, and they've entered the part of their life where they're actually calling on their superannuation to fund their lifestyles. And the one which is nascent, which is really interesting to me, is how they close the funds down and manage the next generation. All of the data that we see, all of the longitudinal data that we see, suggests that in the 2020 to 2030 period, that's going to be the fastest growing part of the business. And I'm concerned and I'm thoughtful about the fact that a lot of people aren't set up for that, and they're not set up to manage that well. So that's going to be something we're really going to have to concentrate on.
Okay, thanks for those insights, Andrew.
My absolute pleasure. It's great to be here.